Hey guys, it's the week of April 21st. I am reviewing a little bit of Romeo and Juliet, Act 1, Scene 1, and then I want to spend the majority of our video today on Act 1, Scene 2. Okay, so just a friendly reminder of a few things. When we are reading Shakespeare, do not let the thee and the thou kind of throw you off. Those are just different pronouns that we've been working with. And also just try to get the gist of what is going on because the syntax or the word order might be slightly different. And again, as I walk you through it, the more that you do it, the more familiar it'll get. All right, so that being said, let's kind of remind us about a couple of things going on with Act 1, Scene 1. So Romeo is a part of the Montague family. And again, the way that I remember that is Romeo has an M, Montague starts with an M. And then Juliet is part of the Capulet family. Okay, think Juliet, Capulet, kind of rhymes there. So in Act 1, Scene 1, we have the Montagues and Capulets even got in trouble for fighting, and the prince even had said that there would be severe punishment if they were to kind of fight out in public again. So keep that in mind because there's a long-standing conflict with both families, and then they always seem to be starting something new. So that's an issue that we're having. Romeo, also in Act 1, Scene 1, has been very lovesick and upset about Rosalind. He's kind of not feeling himself, and he's very disappointed because Rosalind does not want to date at all, and he thinks that it's a waste, and he keeps contrasting life, like what is it, and has lots of questions to himself. Benvolio is kind of saying, his friend is saying, well, I'm going to try to help you take your mind off of it. And that's where we kind of go into Act 1, Scene 2. Now we're opening Act 1, Scene 2 and the Capulet house. So again, that's Juliet's house. And we have Lord Capulet, who is talking to Paris, who's a handsome young suitor. And they're going to talk about Juliet. So as you see here, I'm going to just kind of do what I did last time. I'm going to read a few lines and then I'm going to stop and kind of show you how I decode it. And hopefully that will help you or at least kind of give you a hint about some of the questions. All right, so are you ready? So this is Enter Capulet, County Paris, and the Clown Capulet Service. So Lord Capulet. But Montague is bound as well as I, and penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace. So this is where Lord Capulet is talking about how both families are bound. They are not to fight because as Paris, as the prince had said, they could get in trouble. So they're saying we have to keep the peace. So now Paris, this young suitor, is going to talk to Lord Capulet about Juliet. Of honorable recking are you both, and pity 'tis you live at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit? So he's asking, he has a proposal, and he wants to know what Lord Capulet's response is. So Lord Capulet says, but saying o'er what have I said before? My child is yet a stranger in this world. She has not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride. All right, so let's slow down for a minute because we got a lot going on here. So Paris had a proposal. So he is asking about something to do with Juliet, possibly marriage. As we look here, that's going to confirm this because Lord Capulet says, my child is yet a stranger in the world. So he's saying my daughter is very young. She have not seen the change of 14 years. So she is not even 14 years old yet. Okay. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride. So he wants 2 more years to go before it's her right to be a bride. So she's young, she's around 13, and 2 more summers, as 2 more years go on, then she'd be a bride. So at 15, she'd be a bride instead of at 13. So then Paris is going to reply, younger than she are happy mothers made. So his response is, well, even women even younger than her get married. And I do want to kind of draw attention to the time period is obviously a little different. They did marry a little earlier, but we know with the fact that Lord Capulet is saying no, that he does not want to marry her off, that she is at still a pretty young age to get married, even though Paris is trying to convince Lord Capulet that's okay. So then this is his response to that, Lord Capulet. And too soon marred are those so early made. Earth had swallowed all my hopes, but she is the hopeful lady of my earth. And so it even says, so his hopes for the future and all that he will inherit is in her. Okay, that is his only child. And so she has a big inheritance, and he doesn't want to rush into things necessarily. So then he says, but woo her, gentle Paris, and get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agree within her scope of choice, lies my consent and fair according voice. So he says, woo her, gentle Paris. So date her, get her to like you, try to get her heart. Let's see if she likes you back. And then my will to consent is but a part. So yes, it's important that I say that you guys can get married, but I want her to also agree with that choice too. So if she agrees within our scope of choice, lies my consent and fair according voice. So he says, if she agrees and she wants to be with you, then I approve it. So it seems like so far that Lord Capulet would be okay with someday of his daughter and Paris getting married, but he might want a little bit more time for her to get a little older, obviously. And he also wants to make sure that it's something that she would agree to. So then after he says and kind of gives that, he says, this night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I've invited many a guest, such as I love and you among the store. One more most welcome makes my number more. So he says, I hold an old accustomed feast. So this is a feast or something that he's holding. So basically a big party. And he says, I've invited many a guest. It's going to be a big party of people that I love, and you're among the store. One more welcome, one more most welcome makes my number more. So go ahead, come on, bring your friends. And at my poor house, locked to behold this night. So he's going to have a party at his house and would love for Paris to come. He says, earth trending stars that make dark heaven light, such comfort as do lusty young men feel, when well apparelled April on the heel of limping winter treads, even such delight. Among fresh fennel buds shall you this night inherit at my house, hear all and all see. And like her most, whose merit most shall be, when which one more view of many mind being one, may stand a number through its reckoning none. Come, go with me. So there's quite a bit going on here. He says, earth trending stars that make dark heaven light. So there's going to be young ladies at this party. And, a lot of young ladies for the gentleman to kind of look at and try to woo and dance. And he says that there's going to be a lot of people that they can see. So he shall see if he really wants to be with Juliet, or is he going to get distracted by someone else? And so that's what's kind of going on here. I'm going to let you kind of finish reading this as we go. We will see a servant's going to come on in, and Benvolio and Romeo are actually going to kind of join the party, even though obviously they are part of an opposing view. So you will finish that part on your own. Again, pay attention. It does give you some help off to the side in some of these words, and take your time with this. I know that I kind of read this kind of quickly, but when I go through this myself, you just take some time and just try to get the gist. And then when you go to Act 1, Scene 3, that's actually going to be in the Capulet house, and that's going to be a conversation between Juliet and her mother. And I made you a separate video on that to help you out, but that's over Juliet and her mother and the idea of marriage. Because if you just remembered here, we had Juliet, obviously there's a marriage proposal. No one has said yes right away, but that's pretty big news of something going on. So as you continue to read, try to continue slowing down and decoding what is happening. You'll fill that chart out and then give your opinion. I mean, what do you think? They're already trying to get Juliet married off at only 13. Do you think 13 is a little early, even according to the time? What do you think of Paris? What do you think of this whole situation? And as you see, you'll see kind of what's going on with Romeo. What kind of mood is he in? Is he still distracted about Rosalind? What do you think about this character so far? We haven't seen too much action with him, but we will start to get to know him a little bit more. All right, guys, feel free to put requests in. We can always Zoom to kind of take a further look at this. Let me know if you need a little bit more detailed video. I'm more than happy to do that, but I kind of at least wanted to help you get started. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day.